we invite guests to come by and get high with us here in Nevada's original Cannabis Lounge. So let's get into it. Welcome back to the NuWu Sessions Podcast, guys. We're back at it with another one, and let's just get right into it. Gabe Lopez, how the hell you doing today, man?
I'm doing fucking great, buddy. How you doing?
Ready to rock and roll here. Ready to do another podcast. Glad to have you back on, brother. Can't wait again.
We're day highing right now. I'm really liking this.
It is really early in the morning.
Because I enjoy day drinking. Day highing is a whole different thing altogether.
I was thinking once we got this on the calendar, I was like, damn, Gabe, we locked in a Friday. And I know you got 2 shows tonight, brother. You're probably going to need a little...
It's a busy day.
Yeah. It's cool. We might need a little catnap if we're doing our job right.
Possibly.
Hell yeah, man. Well, thanks for coming back on. We appreciate it.
My pleasure.
We can't wait to talk about everything we've been doing. Since we had Gabe on the show last, we've been rocking and rolling with NuWu Comedy Club for over a year strong now.
Yeah, we hit over a year.
Yeah, man. And just barely getting started, too. We've had some big names, but before we get into that, let's just talk about our drinks here. I know I'm sipping on a little Blue Dream, my favorite. Gabe's got the liquid marijuana.
My favorite here.
Hell yeah, dude. These things are amazing.
It is a vacation in your mouth that happens to be microdosed. Numb, numb, numb in your tum, tum, tum is what it is.
Hell yeah. Couldn't have said it better myself. This just makes me feel like I'm on a beach, even though we are in this hot-ass desert in the middle of August. It's hot as hell, but what are you going to do, man? So let's just get into it. So I want to talk about, last time we had you on, we talked about kind of your early career, and I want to touch on that a little bit, but I want to go back before all this. If you guys don't know, some of Gabe's accolades, has been hosting the Dirty at 12:30 show at South Point for over 10 years strong now. As I just mentioned, we have the NuWu Comedy Club just over a year now, and you got some other shows that we're going to talk about here soon. But before any of that, I want to talk about a young Gabe and how he got introduced to the cannabis plant. What was your first time smoking weed like, man?
When I started comedy, actually, my comedy career and my weed career starts at the same time. It's very amazing. Nice. It's very synonymous.
Yeah, okay.
I did not know that this was a common comic thing. Not everybody. I'm not going to just throw a blanket thing out there, but it's very much a thing. Like after the show, hey, you want some of this? I'm like, what is that? Well, I'm like, I don't smoke cigarettes. Well, this is not a cigarette. This makes me feel funny. I like this. Okay, let's go with this. And that was the beginning. And I'm not a constant, because we all know, I don't know if you are, the everyday smokers, but I'm definitely into the wind down, because you're a performer as well. You know that wind down after the show, because you're still on that high, and that just aids in that.
100%. Especially, I mean, if you're playing in a venue with alcohol, I don't know, personally, I like a couple drinks before I play, but the weed does kind of help with just the decompression and just kind of that come down in a much more, cerebral way. You know, if you're doing that with alcohol, because I know some artists who do that, you know what I mean? It's the same kind of thing. You're like, okay, I've got all this adrenaline going through me. I just really want to, get back down to earth.
And you really got to get rid of it. Yeah. Especially if you happen to go home right after or go to a hotel room right after a show, you're still wired, and reruns of Friends isn't cutting it. Like I just need to calm down a little bit, and that's really where it at. And that was my discovery. I'm like, okay, this is game changing here.
Oh yeah. So I mean, you said that it kind of your cannabis usage started with comedy. Around what age was that?
Well, I started stand up when I was 26.
Okay.
And I'd been around it, and it just never interested me. And not until somebody sold it that right way. I'm like, hey man, this is just what it is. Right. Before I'm like, okay, this is just drugs. I know I have an addictive personality. Let me not try that, because I know I saw Scarface, and I was thinking that the whole time, and I didn't realize it was nowhere near that extreme. Yeah. So yeah, we're good. That's
funny. Comparing the good old green plant to Scarface. That's good though, especially though in the we're still in the very early days of cannabis kind of reform. Correct. You know what I mean? With the reefer madness and all the propaganda that's out there, I do think, it wasn't that long ago when that was just kind of the norm and the way a lot of people looked at cannabis. So, testament to how far we've come. So.
Yeah, it was just a fear of mine. And I think that's a common thing. It's just a fear. I know I have an addictive personality. Right. Let me stay away from that. And now it was finally like, just try it once. It's not immediate, that. So it's just, okay, it might be 15, might be 30 minutes, might be 45. Okay, there it is. That's what I was looking for.
Found the sweet spot, right?
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. So these days, would you say that you are more of a daily user, or what's that look like for you?
Very, very much recreational. Usually after shows, but now my career is definitely going on an upward direction. So what used to be once or twice a week has now become 5-6 times a week, because I'm actually performing 5-6 days a week.
There you go. Okay, that's cool. Do you have any go-to strains?
No, but once I learned the difference between a sativa and an indica, that was game changing. I just thought weed was weed, you know, and just you smoke it. Indica, this makes me feel a little sleepy.
Yeah.
And once somebody here at NuWu described it, indica, couch.
That's it.
I will never forget that.
Yeah,
okay,
right.
So sativa's the happy one. Indica's the make you sleepy. Got it.
There you go.
I know where I'm at now.
You got your daytime, got your nighttime, right?
That's it.
Yeah.
It's my NyQuil and my DayQuil.
There you go. There you go. I definitely am more team indica myself, especially like you touched on after a performance, something like that. I'm like, cool. Again, I need something to kind of bring me down. I don't need to get any more wound up. I know a lot of users that say that they get paranoid or anxious or something when they smoke weed. And I was like, well, have you been smoking sativas?
Yeah.
Have you been smoking indicas? Have you even tried it? You know what I mean? So
and it's all excuses. They're all excuses. And why not to use it? Like, I am so pro cannabis, and I've learned so much since you guys have taught me so much just from being here, just the specific strains and what to get. And you guys had a pet section before.
Yeah.
I don't think you do anymore, but like, hey, do you have an old dog with cancer that doesn't have an appetite? Here, try this. Hey, do you have a hyper dog? Give him this. Wow, the science behind this is fucking amazing now.
Yeah, no, 100%. We did have that. I think actually Nevada voted that out or something like that.
Is that what happened?
Because I know there were CBD products, and I think there might have even been at one point in time THC products. And I think that was the line in the sand. We're like, don't be getting our lovely furry friends fucked up, man.
But if you got an old dog with cancer and you're just trying to get him to eat,
that's what I'm saying.
And this is an all natural way to do that.
Yeah.
The fuck is the problem?
100%. Even with the CBD supplements, I had a friend once who I worked with here in the industry. He had a dog that was older and sickly and things like that. He was had him on CBD tinctures, and he had like I don't know the terminology, but hip problems. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He said he was walking normal within like 30 days of having him on some CBD, and it's inflammation, it's medicine, hunger, like all the things that we know cannabis does. It's tried and true at this point, right?
Oh, my dad's a great example. He's a vet, and he was a contractor before and had arthritis in his hands. And somebody here introduced me to a salve and I had him try it, and my dad doesn't touch any of this stuff at all, but he tried it. And I'm not kidding you when he said within 15 seconds, he's like, I don't remember the last time I didn't feel pain in my hands.
Wow.
15 seconds.
Wow.
So I am so pro the science behind all this, and all these politicians that are against it, they just don't know. It's just lack of education.
100%.
Because I was the same way. It's just lack of education.
Yep.
This shit's amazing.
No, 100%. Night and day. And again, that legalization, that cannabis reform, getting us in the right direction so we can find these things out, because I do think it's one of those testimonial products. You know what I mean? Like, seeing is believing. And when you have those testimonials like your dad there, I mean, I personally have been using topicals for years. I've got tendonitis really bad here in my left hand, and when it flares up, dude, it's like hell on earth. But topicals help me get through it. You know what I mean? And if I wasn't doing that, what would I be doing? Like pain pills and other things that just like make it really hard to function on the day to day. It's
once I learned, because I started doing the research and just really realizing that it's the pharmaceutical companies that don't want this to succeed. Why? Because 15 seconds.
Yeah. Exactly. It's nature's medicine. We've
no
been using it forever.
No side effects. I'm not all blocked up or anything. It just works.
Yep. No, 100%. That's the big loaded question we should probably get away from so we don't get shut down, right? But so how did you get into stand-up?
Stand-up was always a dream. I was always a fan of stand-up. Never thought I'd actually do it. Okay. And then finally, back in California, they opened up a local improv. And I was just there religiously, and they started doing open mic nights. And this is, I thank God for alcohol and having shitty friends that just pushed me up on stage after having 3 shots of tequila. And the anxiety I felt up until I got that first laugh. Mm-hmm. Once I got that first laugh, my life was changed. It's kind of like the before you got married, the after you got married, the before you had a kid, after you had a kid. For me, it's before I got a laugh, after I had a laugh. My life changed forever.
There you go. One of those life-defining moments right
Absolutely.
There. Cool, man. What age were you on that?
I was 26. That was my first night. Yeah, it was an open mic night at the Ontario Improv in California, and just never looked back.
Hell yeah, man. That's awesome. I know, obviously, you've been doing it a long time. We touched on a little bit in the last episode about some of the things you've been doing there. I want to talk about the NuWu Comedy Club, but before we dive into that, we should smoke some weed, right? That's kind of what we do in this lovely place we're at, right?
It's the only reason I said yes to this shit.
Yeah. He said, I'm here for some day smoking. Let's get it going, Tom. Hell yeah. Yeah, if I could get the table package, guys. Appreciate it. So we do have, we've got an eighth. We got a couple pre-rollies. We got a JBD bong. We've got a Dr. Dabber XS. I think we got all types of things that are going to get us where we're trying to go. Awesome. Thank you, Miss Rose. Ooh, and some waters.
And more waters.
This is a necessity.
I did learn about hydration, too. Always hydrate.
Yeah, always a good thing to have, especially when you're smoking lots of weed.
Wow.
Thank you very much.
This is, wow.
Yeah, since you've been in last, look, we got these fancy NuWu Bic lighters. You know what I mean? We didn't cheap out. We got the good ones.
Look at that.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Rose.
That is nice.
We do got a couple pre-rollies here. We've got Nature's Chemistry. This is, let's take a look. This is some garlic banana. Ooh-wee. Nature's Chemistry does make some just phenomenal
garlic banana. Jesus, that'd make a great cheesecake.
Yeah. There you go. Let's see here. Look at this. Oh, my God. This is... Yeah, you said you wanted a day smoke, brother. We got 30% THC on here. We got 7.4 milligrams per gram of limonene, 4 milligrams of myrcene, and 4.6 on this caryophyllene.
Smells like...
Looks like a banger.
Smells like...
I haven't even gotten that far.
Oh, jeez.
So let's dive into the NuWu Comedy Club while we get this started here.
Yeah.
So we've been doing this over a year now.
Yeah.
You've been doing weekly shows with the Dirty at 12:30 for well over 10 years. But if my memory serves correct, NuWu Comedy Club was the first time trying to do multiple weekly shows. Am I right on that one?
It's my first time doing 2 shows. So since NuWu Comedy Club started, we're doing 2 shows in one night every Friday night. So I come here, 8:30 show. We're done by 10ish, and then I run to do a midnight show. And it's every Friday. I consider that my work day.
Yeah,
because it's draining, especially if any performers out there. You know, if you do one show, that's draining. But having to go do a second one in the same night.
Yeah, so, it's exhausting. So it's that roller coaster, that adrenaline roller coaster we were talking about earlier, right?
Yeah, so I can't do anything before the 2 shows to try to calm down because I need to maintain the high.
Yeah. No, that makes perfect sense.
No, but after the midnight show, come 2 a.m.
Gabe's like, shots of tequila, please, right? Give me a
Jesus.
joint.
and I also learned about crossfading, which if you don't know, it is a thing. So you need to find your balance. If you're because if you're now, weed and alcohol are very synonymous. You and I both know this,
of course,
especially like at concerts, at shows, or anything like that. Go to a Santana concert. Ugh.
Yeah, right.
Best tequila and best weed I've ever had. I don't know what it was. It was
doesn't matter. Got me where I was trying to go.
It was out of a plastic bag, but it was amazing.
Some homemade hooch, right?
That's it.
Cool, man. So what has been some unique challenges hosting a comedy club? Obviously, you've been doing it Dirty 12:30 for a long time, but that's more of an alcohol venue or a cannabis venue. What have been some challenges operating in a cannabis venue versus a traditional alcohol bar?
The cannabis is actually a lot easier. There aren't any Karens or Darrens that I deal with on the alcohol side. Just everybody's just cool, and it's just the hardest part is teaching the comics and teaching all the talent. Like, hey, don't speed up. They are being entertained. They are laughing. It's just I always explain it as if you've ever seen the Disney movie Zootopia and you've ever seen the sloth at the DMV. That is their reaction to the show. So the jokes are good. Don't think that you aren't funny and that you have to rush through your set. No. Calm down. Go through your stuff and just pay attention to the crowd. And it is a little, you hit the punchline and it is a and that was the biggest hurdle I've experienced. Now I pretty much, after a year, there's nothing I haven't experienced in having a cannabis comedy show, as opposed to the oh my God, the alcohols. Oh, they're just people there that just want the world to burn down, and they just believe that their opinion matters more than anybody else, and they can go fuck themselves.
Right.
Because we're on the same earth. Just because you're right doesn't mean I'm wrong.
100%. That's a beautiful way to look at it, right?
That's the way I try to sell it. Like, look, you're offended by words?
Yeah.
What a great problem to have, that is the biggest problem.
Yeah.
There are people starving and dying and in wars around the world. Your biggest complaint is, I said fuck.
Yeah. When you put it like that, no, you're 100% right, especially at a comedy club.
Yeah.
Right? That's like what you're going there for,
We're trying.
Yeah.
Even if we don't, we're trying. You sing a song, I'm trying to entertain you. If I didn't do that, at least respect the fact that I tried.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see if the balls come up here and try it, especially you don't comedy, man.
You don't like metal, you like country? Great.
Yeah.
There's room in this world for everybody.
Exactly.
Thank you for giving me a chance. If I didn't entertain you, I'm sorry. Have a great life.
Yeah, right.
But don't get on your phone. Hey, I saw Tom, garbage, piece of shit, love Garth Brooks. You accomplished nothing.
Right. Yeah.
You accomplished nothing other than trying to bash you.
Exactly.
Why?
Yeah, I think it's kind of indicative of this the social media generation we're in, where everyone feels their opinion is uber important, and expressing it just makes you that much more valuable. When you're right, you know what I mean. Just because you're right doesn't mean I'm wrong.
Yeah.
There's a a million shades of gray in this world. That's where we all live and operate in, right?
But we live in a world where people hide behind their screens and their phones, and they can put out this horrible, scathing opinion of you, and we'll never know who that is.
Yep. Yeah, that's that Twitter generation where everyone kind of got used to like, cool, here's a nameless profile, no one knows who I am, and I can just like,
and I'm just gonna
lambast everyone.
I'm gonna bash Tom and Gabe's podcast was absolute garbage. They didn't try to teach anything. They said they were trying to teach, but I learned nothing, and therefore you should never go.
Yeah. Never read the comments. That's the moral of the story. You know,
it's unfortunate that this is the age that we live in, where we have to cater.
Yeah.
And I don't want to. I refuse. I say I refuse to.
Yeah.
But sometimes, if you want to keep the job, you got to bow down a little bit. But still, for a stranger, somebody that we've never met, that just happened to be catching a comedy show or catching a music show,
right? And
just because they caught a little bit of it, I'm going to put my opinion out there.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's the world we live in. It's a double-edged sword because there is, young upcoming comics, musicians, artists of all types that are being found and discovered and building careers off of social media, but that's the catch-22, you know what I mean? There's tons of people out there that just really want to make their opinion heard, whether or not it's positive, constructive, or helpful in any fucking capacity.
They're influencers.
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, right.
Do something with your life.
Yeah.
As opposed to just having opinions.
Yeah.
That's literally you live your life having opinions.
Yeah, not fun, but that's cool. Well, you got to roll with the punches, again, catch-22. They're going to be there. Just ignore the comments. I know you were saying this earlier about people just roasting people in the comments. I know in one of the early, actually, I think it was episode 1 of NuWu Sessions, we had a comment because we just dropped the best of episode 29. If you haven't seen it, I was going through, going down memory lane, looking at all the old episodes, seeing some comments I'd never even seen before. Like one was like, wow, like the first episode we had a bunch of influencers on, got them really high, asked them a bunch of questions from our bud tender training. They struggled, you know? And then they're like, the comment said, way to just glorify being an idiot. Why didn't you make something educational? I was like, we're asking questions derived from our bud tender training to focus on education.
But they won't do that research.
Yeah, exactly. They probably didn't get far enough in. They got 2 minutes in the video and was like, oh, this is stupid, But it is what it is. You're not going to please everyone, but the people that you do is makes it all worth it, right?
It's like I'd rather live off the 1%, and we can make a life out of the 1%. The 1% liking us.
Hell yeah, man.
And I don't have an interest on being Jerry Seinfeld. He made a career and he's a very squeaky clean comic.
Right.
I am not that guy.
Right.
But I have enough of an audience to keep me employed.
Yeah.
To get people at my shows, because there are so many people that love the uncensored comedy.
Yeah.
You know how many clubs you go to and where, hey, and the manager will be like, hey, this is a PG-13 club. It's a really it's an older crowd. So keep it PG-13 or cleaner. I've had those same old people come to my shows, husband and wives come up to me and say, listen, people don't realize we were in the war. I was in Vietnam and I've done this. And people act like we don't like to hear a couple of dick and pussy jokes once in a while.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's true. You just, you make up your own like reason why you can't do something in your head more often than not. You know what I mean? These are the rules that we made up at the end of the day. So I think that's the beautiful thing about comedy, because it just pushes the boundaries on the way we as a society thinks, you know what I mean? And just at the end of the day, you're right. If you're getting offended by words, like
just words,
mm-hmm. that's all it is,
nobody physically touched you. There wasn't a baseball bat that cracked your head open.
Yeah.
Words. And you made a conscious decision to think that your opinion is more important than mine.
Yeah. Well, and if you know that too, like, again, this is if you haven't seen the show, if you're offended, get the fuck out, right? That's.
I give him an out. If you've been to any of my shows, I start in the beginning. If you're easily offended, get out.
Yep.
Get out. We hate Karens, we hate Darrens, and Yelpers can go fuck themselves.
I've never heard the Darren expression. I'm gonna have to borrow that. That's really good.
That's
Karens and Darrens.
Karens and Darrens, cool. Because you assume it's females. Oh, there's dudes that are dicks also.
Yeah, 100%. So, I mean, that's a great segue into, so now having done the NuWu Comedy Club for a while, it would have been some of your favorite memories since we started the show.
Oh, some of the people, the newfound fans. The newfound fans, because since this is unheard of,
right?
I thought there was something like this in Colorado that existed. To my understanding, and I don't know if you know the fact, I don't think anything else like this exists in the country.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Where it is live entertainment in public, and the biggest hurdle that we had to go through were people smoking in public.
Right. When
they're used to just smoking in their backyard or their garage.
Yeah.
That was like, just and getting their head through that you're not going to get arrested. You're here just fine. You're in public. Have a great time with these other people that are in public.
Yeah. Yeah. And people do, I mean, I think we've kept cannabis, in the closet for all these years. So people are used to being like, okay, hey, maybe I'm at the comedy show. I'm in the alley behind the bar or the club or whatever, smoking a joint before I go back in there, get back to my cocktail or the show and things like that. So I do think it's just, as a society, people have a hard time understanding the social aspects of just doing what we're doing right now. Like, look, we're smoking weed in a public venue. Yeah. Having a conversation, So, but you're right. There is some other lounges and there's some stuff popping up, and I know that there's some other like event spaces, and they focus on music and the activations that they're doing. But I haven't personally heard of a comedy club.
No,
I know that there was like one here in Market that didn't last long.
It did not. But they reached out to me, and before they started their comedy, and I don't want to name them because they end up going with really. I'm very particular about the talent I put on stage, and. Topic number one, are you funny?
Yeah, that's an important part of a comedy show, right?
It shouldn't be sales. It shouldn't be an unfunny comedian just going up to this place. Hey, I got an idea for a comedy show, and if you're the one hiring me and I sold you, well, it was a sales pitch. You have no idea if I'm funny. You don't know what I bring to the table.
Yeah.
If I'm talking to somebody, please come check out my show. My show's not for everybody. Please come check out my show, and then let's have a conversation on Monday.
Right.
And which is exactly what happened here. I didn't know a lot of the tribal members. I did not know. Here at NuWu, the Paiute tribe, were fans of the Dirty at 12:30, that they would come and hang out. So I already had credibility walking in the door, which is a dream.
Testament to all the hard work you put in. I mean, 10 years is not a small amount of time to be running a show, certainly in this town.
Especially in Vegas. It's dog years out here, So if you last a year, you lasted 7 dog years here.
Yeah, right.
So the Dirty is hitting, Cirque du Soleil status as far as, longevity. And I want the same thing for NuWu. It's just teaching, and this is and I love to teach if you're willing to listen.
Yeah, 100%.
Because I'm willing to listen if you're willing to teach. So I put that same thing out there. I'm willing to teach, and you do the same thing, and all the staff here is just teaching that this is the new norm, and this is legal, and we can do this, and you can have a great time, and you can laugh your ass off even if you're not into the alcohol thing where normal comedy goes. Mm-hmm. This is uncharted territory.
Yeah.
You've been here since the beginning, and like we've just trying to push it out. Like, look, this is a good time, and the show is free, and I bring really high quality comics, and I call in a lot of favors because I want to celebrate the 10-year anniversary of the NuWu Comedy Club.
100%.
I look forward to that. How fun would that be?
Oh man, I can't wait.
We're just barely like over a year in now. 5 years.
Yeah, that's still going to be a huge milestone. But, I mean, and that's what it's in it for us. Again, we didn't build this huge space to just be doing monthly activations. We want to be doing daily, weekly. You know? We've worked very hard to build a series of events, and the first one, spearheaded by you, the Comedy Club has been going longer and stronger than any of our other events. We've built a lot of hype around it. But you're right. We're on the cutting edge of cannabis reform in such a weird way that I think that is the biggest hurdle, is just the awareness factor.
That's it.
Because everyone thinks that this doesn't exist as far as places where you can go socially consume cannabis.
Yes. And if you check out, come to the NuWu Comedy Club, guys. After the show, we have a DJ and we have adult games. We got cornhole going on, and then there's super tall Jengas and stuff where people are just getting high and having a great time, just smiling. That's my favorite part. Just seeing the smiles on the people's faces, because you're just in what looks like a big backyard.
Yep.
And you're just hanging out with your friends, and you're not stuck in a backyard on a Friday night. You're not stuck in a garage on a Saturday night. You're out here, and now with the events, now we got yoga, and now we got open mic nights, and now we got karaoke nights, and now the stuff is just growing. Like, you're going to be doing, entertainment 7 days a week here.
Yep. That's the goal.
Car shows. I mean, like the carnivals, the creativity that your team has had has been amazing here.
Thank you,
brother. And I'm just running the little comedy show on Friday nights, but where it's grown, I'm just flabbergasted. I'm so happy to see all this growth. Man.
Well, and teamwork makes the dream work. Again, like, we wouldn't have even gotten started if it wasn't for all the work you put into the Comedy Club. And again, when we had Gabe last on, we were back in the old facility. We were talking at the time, we were calling it Smoke and Joke. We did 2 shows in the Vegas Tasting Room. We had a 50-person cap. Everything was ticketed, but we wanted to prove the model, prove it could be successful, prove that there was a draw. And I think you definitely under-promised, over-delivered on both of those shows, and that's why we even felt comfortable okay, let's do this. Let's make it a weekly activation off the jump. Because, again, we do want to be a hub for activations. We want to be a place where people can actually hang out, congregate, socialize, have fun, stay here. Because almost every other dispensary here in the Valley is like, here's your weed.
Yeah.
Get out.
Yeah. No, now. And from the behind the scenes, the comics that are interested, word's gotten out on the NuWu Comedy Club. Comics want to do this show. It's like, it's like, wait, we can smoke freely? You can smoke on stage. You're fucking kidding me. Really?
Hell yeah.
You know how many comics are like, you get a few pre-rolls during the show, right? You don't even have to pay me. I just want to smoke. I just want to smoke while I perform.
Yeah, right. So that's a bucket list thing.
And and where I really want to have comics down the line that I know smoke. One of my personal favorite comedians is Chris Porter, and he has specials on Amazon Prime. They are, and if you've never heard that name, look it up. Chris Porter. He is easily one of my top 3 comics of all time. He's just so hilarious, and he smokes. He's like, Gabe, I don't even know what I do with myself. My career is 30 years of just doing booze joints.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to do with this. I'm like, come on down, buddy. So it's a matter of time before I have my favorite, and then other comics, and then the construction you guys are doing here. Because they're telling me, are we allowed to talk about the construction that's going on here?
Yeah, I'm not saying specifics, but 100%. Yeah. We're definitely about to go through a big redesign. The tribe's currently approving and vetting some of the designs and things like that, but we've only been open for a little over a year, but we are due for a big old facelift.
Oh, so. And I don't even want to reveal it because I don't want the other dispensaries to figure out the stuff that you guys are talking about. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Game fucking changing.
Yeah, we're playing a long game. The tribe has been here since 1905, since Vegas' inception.
Really?
And clearly before
1905,
that.
really?
1905 is my understanding, according to the websites, is when the tribe was officially founded and recognized by the state, and been just trying to be good neighbors to the state the entire time. But yeah, the Paiutes have been here officially founded as the Las Vegas Paiute tribe, recognized by the government since 1905, and literally where we're sitting here smoking right now. Yeah. So they've been here for the whole time, and now they're really just kind of investing a lot in just the future of cannabis, and because of it, we get to be on the cutting edge of cannabis reforms, able to do what we're doing now, able to do these shows.
We're
these
doing
activations.
this.
Yeah, and that's crazy. That's, again, people just can't even seem to understand that part, but it's pretty cool.
And anybody that's watching this, please follow the Paiute tribe and the NuWu dispensary, because the stuff that they have going on 5 years from now, I hope we are revisiting this. Like, remember when we talked about this shit?
Yeah.
Look at all this shit
that's what it feels like already, just since the last time we were sitting down now. Because, again, at the time, we were talking about the first show that was in the Vegas Taste Room. Now we're sitting here, close to 2 years later, being like, cool, we've been a year strong doing weekly activations, just building and growing. So, like, just scratching the surface.
The staff here is just top notch. I love that the staff is so on board. Yep, we're doing this. Yep, we're doing this. Like, there is no turning back. This locomotive is running full steam, and there is no turning back on this. This is what's going to happen. And whether you like it or not, fuck you. We're doing it.
Hell yeah. No, we got a great team, and everyone kind of sees the vision and the end goal. So it's definitely a good mission statement, and a good way to stay motivated.
I love it.
So to that point, let's talk about the NuWu Comedy Club. How do you go about curating a lineup for your shows? What does that look like for you?
Every week is its own project, and so I do like comics that like to smoke, but I also like comics that don't necessarily like to smoke, because I don't want a drunk comic. I don't want them slurring on stage. Same concept.
Yeah.
In my case, if I smoke too much, I'll start coughing like crazy. Where I'm like, all right, I can't even say a word if you gave me $1 million to say hello.
Right.
And so everybody has their limits, and I need to make sure that the show itself is still top notch. So because at the end of the day, the quality of the show is all that matters to me. Will you come back next week? Will you bring some friends next week?
Right.
It's everybody says, the term butts in seats.
Yep.
But will you become a fan of this? And which we have. We have people that used to go to the Dirty at 12:30, and then they discovered this. And now this is more me, Gabe. This is what I've been, I've been tired of, I got tired of sneaking outside of the South Point Hotel, trying to, avoiding security, when I can do it openly without fear here.
Exactly.
Great. I have a house for you. There you go.
Hell yeah.
I got 2 different houses. You go to which one that fits your personality better.
Hell yeah.
And that's what I absolutely love. Just the freedom here. And it is true freedom you have here, and the people are so wonderful. And we have one security guard. We've never had a fight. There's never been a brawl that we have with alcohol.
Yeah.
Everybody's just.
That's it. It's hard to be angry or upset or escalated or offended or any of those things when on the magical green plant. You know what I mean? So it's usually pretty chill vibes.
And that's another teaching thing. Some people are just against being taught.
Yeah.
And that's the unfortunate part, because I have learned that some people just are against, because I got like, how could you cross over like that? I didn't cross over. I just found a new batch of good people that like my shows.
You're just branching out, it's expanding.
And you want me to fault them, and you want to fault me.
Yeah. I mean, some people, it's again like the social media conversation where everyone gets so married to their own opinions and so on their own high horse, you know what I mean? So personally, since I was like the age of 16, if someone's like against weed, I'm like, cool, we're not going to get along. I'm not even going to try to push it, because I am who I am.
You're not
you are who you are. We're just going to agree to disagree, right?
It's a whole politics religion thing. Everybody wants to talk about their view. Nobody wants to hear your view.
That's exactly it. Yep.
And it's unfortunate, same thing. Like, hey, I'm this religion, or I'm this is my political belief.
Yeah.
Let me tell you. No, let me tell you. No, I don't want to hear yours. Let me tell you mine.
Yeah, exactly.
And some people are so close-minded. Actually, a lot of people are so close-minded. I've learned, thanks to the NuWu Comedy Club, that there's a lot of close-minded people out there. And have a great life.
Yep. It is what it is, yeah.
But like those Yelpers aren't out to compliment. They're out to complain.
It's true, yeah.
I just saw the new Deadpool movie. One of the best movies I've seen in the past 5 years. What do I get? Well, I thought it was garbage. They really didn't follow the comics correctly, or they didn't do this, or they really put a lot on CGI.
Yeah, you're never going to please
everyone. Why? It was a great movie.
Yeah.
I was entertained for 2 hours. Yeah. Why is that so bad?
That's what you're paying for at the end of the day, right? Yeah, you're never gonna please everyone, and again, just everyone's opinions are so amplified with just the reach and the access to social media, but that's cool. So I mean, but focusing on, I guess, the positives, what I mean, we've grown. We've got the NuWu Comedy Club Instagram handle. Make sure you guys check in
at NuWu Comedy Club.
Yep, at NuWu Comedy Club. We're on Instagram. We're also posting a lot of stuff on that on our main page, NuWu LV. Been doing that for a while. Obviously, a lot of stuff on Gabe Lopez comedy and everything. So, what has been your opinion, because clearly a lot of people are thinking that there's been a shift in comedy, kind of talking about what we've talked about several times, people being offended, your PC, wokeism, whatever you want to call it. What's your opinion on the current state of comedy here?
That's the unfortunate part, is if we're still in that kind of, I think we're phasing away from that whole woke mentality, which I'm thankful for, because that these kids, these, what's Generation Z, Generation X, there's a Generation Alpha now that I was just recently hearing about. And just to reiterate, to sincerely believe that your opinion is the end all, that nothing else exists. I love In-N-Out Burger. Well, what's better than In-N-Out Burger? Whataburger. Great.
Yeah.
I've had Whataburger. It's garbage. I love In-N-Out Burger. But I developed my own opinion. Yeah. I gave it a chance.
Yep.
But so many people just believe I'm so close-minded, it's going to end right here. I don't like it. In-N-Out's horrible. Their fries suck. Go fuck yourself.
Right.
That's delicious.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, it is just kind of one of those things where I do think everyone just thinks their opinion's number one, and hopefully we get past that, because I do think that's, like I said earlier, the power of comedy, just having a shift in perspective. Yeah. Like, I never really thought of it that way. Like, I saw some joke that was talking about how it's funny because I've tried to quote the joke, done a terrible job. I'm not a stand-up comedian. I leave it to the professionals here. But it was talking about how astrology is just space racism. And I thought it was a great joke, because it's like what we're doing with the whole, like, where we're at as a society right now. We don't judge people based on things they can't control. Their race, their gender, sexuality. But you can't control when you were born. But if I say, like, oh, you're a Virgo, that just means you're just a terrible person.
Yeah.
You know
you're
what I
a
mean?
Piece of shit.
Space racism.
Well, like, the one thing that, like, right now, like, as we're taping this, the Olympics are on.
Yes.
And now, so many, if you got to be living under a rock, you haven't seen this guy from France that's doing the pole vault that did not win the gold medal because his schlong hit the bar. And everybody's like, how sad is that? How sad is that he missed out on a gold medal? I'm like, this guy's a fucking god for the rest of his life. Think about any introduction that he does with anybody. Hey, I almost won gold. Well, why did you? My fucking cock was so fucking huge that I could not win the gold. It's
he's
perspective.
Legendary status.
It is. He's a fucking legend.
Yeah.
I want to shake that guy's hand. Hey, Monster Cock, so great to meet you. Sorry about the gold,
funny.
but sorry, but that thing. Hey, leave some pussy for us, buddy.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you're officially the coolest guy in the room.
Literally,
but, you know.
they zoomed in. It's on the front page of every newspaper around the world. His cock, and it's hitting the fucking bar.
I must have been living under a rock because I don't know when this happened, but I don't know. With you know, a lot of those things, current events, the news, people's opinions, because I know when everyone was talking about the lady who wasn't a lady, who was a lady, and then I'm like, cool. I'm just not going to watch because, look, we can't even enjoy something as simple as the fucking Olympics. We've been doing this for how long? And
they proved that this, first of all, where was she from? She's from some Middle Eastern country where it's illegal to be trans. So first of all, that's off the table. The fact that she looks like a dude, we've all met chicks that look like dudes.
Yeah. It's not an uncommon thing.
And I'm pretty sure she could kick both of our asses. This is a beefy bitch. She looked.
She's an Olympian.
Yeah. Give her the gold.
Yeah. Especially for something it's just, it hurt to get punched. I thought that was the sport. But that's cool. That's why I don't do it, because I'd probably cry too. But what are you going to do, you know? So, okay, going back to NuWu Comedy Club here. So what are some ways where people can get involved with just the local comedy scene?
I would always recommend any comics that want to try comedy. There is, thank God, when I moved out here 17 years ago, there was no comedy scene. It was either a really shitty open mic night or Jerry Seinfeld at the Coliseum, and there was nothing in between.
No
and
middle
there's
ground.
So much there. And so once, so it was either I give up on comedy and find a day job or create some sort of scene. So this was me calling my friends from LA. And hey, I don't have a lot of money, and you'll crash in my house, and you'll sleep on my couch, and thank God I had a lot of those friends that were just coming out just to say they did Vegas, because nobody was doing Vegas.
Right.
Everybody wants to do Vegas, and there wasn't a way to do Vegas, and they started coming out. So you know, it was one of those 2 comics became 4 comics, 4 comics became 8 comics, and it just grew like that exponentially. So, and I had a lot of failed shows where they just, for example, I had a show in Boulder City. And not realizing, and for those of you that can't tell by my light skin, I'm full Mexican. The only reason that comes into play is I'm going into a bar in Boulder City to try to sell our show. Hey, we're gonna have a show down the street, and I literally got this. You're not from around here, are you, boy? And you got a pretty mouth type. I'm like, all right, I'm out. Yeah. Apparently, I do not belong in Boulder City.
Right.
Learned that the hard way.
Right.
So that was one of the many failures. And some places just, I had a show at the Excalibur, and it was at the Leonard Skinner Barbecue and Beer. I don't know if you remember that place. Tell you why it's important. Had successful shows going there on Friday nights. And then one day I had a meeting on Friday around lunchtime. I go in, and there's drywall all over Leonard Skinner's Barbecue and Beer. It just shut down the night before.
Oh, damn. Yep. Happens with a lot of venues, right?
So that's happened. So you name it, you know, from illness to death to foreclosure to, like, a lot of stuff happens. And if you really believe in your dream, and I know, like you, I've listened to your music, like, you got to stick to it. And you know, there are many times, like, why the fuck am I doing this?
Oh, yeah.
Why the fuck am I doing this? I'm wasting my time. I wasted all my money. I'm living on my mom's couch because I believe in this dream. Yeah. You know, and it just takes that one day and that one person, and it could be anything that just changes your life forever.
100%. That's a good message, though, because you're right. It's like any creative field, anything you're doing, you know what I mean? The number one way to not have success is to quit, right?
That's it. That's a guarantee.
It's the only common denominator.
Guarantee. Right?
Yeah.
But if you die trying.
Yeah. No, and that's, you know, in the day and age we're living in, where, you know, art, music, stand-up comedy, again, social media age, everything is so accessible, making everything kind of feel cheap in a way, you know? But at the end of the day, if you're out there creating and you're doing things that make you happy, like, that's a fulfilled life, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, and if you're trying to succeed, go out there, find your community, find your people, and cultivate that scene and what you want to see, right?
And thank God there is a community, you know, and whether you credit things like Facebook and Instagram, just type it in there, and there are people like you. You're not the only one like you.
Exactly.
Like people kept telling, hey, you should really you should do cleaner stuff so you can do cruise ships and these other clubs. But that's not who I am.
Right.
And I don't want to be miserable, almost thinking I almost made it. You know.
Yeah. Exactly.
Hey, I'm doing comedy on cruise ships and I'm doing clean jokes for a bunch of fucking kids.
Yeah.
I'm not happy.
Yeah, you got to be true to yourself first and foremost.
If I'm talking trash because a monster cock didn't win a gold medal, that makes me happy.
Yeah, right.
That makes me laugh.
Hell yeah. And I mean, to your credit, again, you've built multiple shows now. What are some other shows you're doing? Because I know we got the Comedy Club. You're doing the Dirty 1230, but don't you have some other shows popping up around town?
Because there's a show that got shut down because of COVID at Foundation Room at Mandalay Bay.
Okay.
So that's at the top floor of Mandalay Bay, and that's called Heightened Shenanigans. And that finally started up again a few weeks ago. So that's going to be on Saturdays, and Saturdays at 9 o'clock. And that's another show where it's, for the most part, members only. People pay a lot of money. Older people pay a lot of money, and they are huge fans of dick and pussy jokes. And it's one of the few things where Foundation Room, where the public is allowed to come up to the 60th floor and enjoy the show and enjoy the club and enjoy the best view you'll ever see of Vegas. And also the big thing that I got going that just started recently, I started a 2-man show with Carlos Mencia at the Harrah's Hotel pretty much every Sunday and Monday for the rest of the year. We just signed on to the beginning of 2025. So it's just a 2-man show, just him and I, and Center Strip, and it's just an uncensored comedy show, just him and myself. That's it.
That's huge, man.
Yeah,
good for you. That's awesome. How long's that been going now?
That one's been going on for like 2 months now, and that just goes to just trying to prove uncensored comedy works.
Yeah.
Because we are going to save the country. We are going to save this country by actually talking shit about the stuff. Like, the election's happening this year. Okay, it was Biden, now it's Harris, and there's Trump. And Trump is talking shit about Harris because she's deciding when she doesn't know if she's black or if she's Asian. And Donald Trump just wants to stop elections altogether, from the impression I get.
Yeah.
And my opinion is everybody, for all these fucktards, forget what the U in USA stands for. We're on the same fucking team.
It's true.
If we're a bunch of aliens shooting down like Independence Day, guess what? You're my friend. You're my friend. You're my friend. I'm like, I love all of you that don't have 4 arms.
Yeah. Hey, strength in numbers, but you're right, though. It's supposed to be united, and we are on the same team.
But they work so hard at dividing us.
Yeah.
It's going to be people like comics that actually, it's going to be like the Bill Burrs and the Chris Rocks and the Dave Chappelles that are going to take us to the other side to show us how stupid this is.
Yeah.
These elections are stupid. These things are stupid.
Yeah.
And just, okay, whoever wins, is your life really going to change next year?
Probably not.
Probably not.
Yeah. Yep. It's the good old saying, same shit, different day, right?
That's it.
Just turn the page. Yeah.
My job is to take care of my family. Your job is to take care of your family
100%.
and make sure my biggest fear is somebody having to support me.
Right.
I'm just trying to do my part.
Oh, exactly.
If you take care of yourself, nobody has to take care of anybody.
Yep. You are what you put out into the world, right?
Exactly.
That's it. Might as well be a beacon of positivity, community, and just, creativity too,
So literally all the commercials we see on TV are literally Donald Trump yelping against Harris or Harris yelping against Trump.
Yeah. No, you're
That's
right.
all it is.
Yeah. It's gotten really bad these past few cycles. I'm just ready for it to be 2025. I don't even care. Just figure it out, But
I'm tired of the commercials.
Yeah. No, I feel it.
I'll sign on to 2025 just so I don't have to see these stupid commercials anymore.
So what would you say keeps you inspired? You've been doing this a long time. You're building multiple shows. You're scaling to heights you haven't seen in your career thus far. You're managing multiple shows, artists, residencies, shows at multiple big casinos. Those are all amazing things. So what would you say keeps you inspired?
I still got work to do. I still, I take pride, and I can say with confidence I'm one of the best hosts in the country. I know how to put a show together. I know how to host a show. You give me 60 seconds, and I'll tell you what this crowd is all about. I still want to be the headliner, though. That's my next step. So that's what gets me up in the morning. What new topic? What's happening on the news? What's happening in my personal life that I could really customize? Was from breakups to illness to death. All you can pull comedy out of anything is just what can you be smart enough and respectful enough just to do it, because there's still a level of respect. Even though I run uncensored shows, I want to make fun of everybody. I never want to hurt anybody.
That's a good differentiator.
And there's that balance.
Yeah.
It's like all my comics, we make fun of everybody. We hate nobody.
Yeah.
And as long as you get through that, if I say a black joke, it doesn't mean I hate black people. If I say a Filipino joke, well, I do not like Filipinos, but that's a whole different thing altogether. That's they're just Mexicans that pay their bills on time. That's all Filipinos are to me. But that's for a different episode.
There you go.
But it's just having fun. When you're performing, you're having fun. When people are listening, they're having fun. We facilitate that.
Yeah, putting smiles on faces, right?
How lucky are we?
Yeah, that's true.
We made this decision that, somebody put that in our soul that this is what we want to do.
Hell yeah. That's a beautiful message.
Do I want to be a CEO of a big company? No, that's not what's in here. Do I want to make you smile? I will, till my last breath, die trying to make you smile.
Hell yeah, man. It's a profound message and meaning, you know what I mean? It's what makes life worth living, right?
Right?
Absolutely. So, I mean, we do got to open up this lounge here, so it's probably a good segue to ask the question we try to ask in every episode. So, if you were talking to a younger version of yourself, an up-and-coming comic, someone who's trying to go down a similar path as you yourself have walked, what advice would you give them and why?
I wish I knew this earlier, but I live by this now. It's be nice and be ready, because being nice will open that door. You better be fucking ready when that door opens.
Hell yeah.
That's if I were to give my tidbit of advice, be nice, and this applies to everybody and anything you're doing in life. Be nice, because that will open the door, and be ready.
Hell yeah. No, profound message. You can walk someone up to the door, they got to walk through it, right?
Exactly. That's it.
Hell yeah.
That's it.
Cool, man. Well, thanks for coming on the show. Tell the people at home where they can find you, brother.
On everything, Twitter, or whatever Twitter's called now, and Instagram and Facebook and Threads.
Yeah, I know. Twitter 2.0.
But it's at Gabe Lopez Comedy on all platforms. Gabe Lopez, Gabe Lopez Comedy.
Hell yeah. Make sure you give my man Gabe a follow. Come on down. Check out the NuWu Comedy Club. We're hosting it every Friday at 8:30. You can see all the headliners on our calendar, NuWu.Vegas/events. And we're just still barely getting started, right?
We're just scratching the surface, brother. I'm very excited about this.
You'll see Gabe on another podcast sometime soon. But
I'm always around.
Hell
I'm stuck in Vegas. I'm here.
Well, hey, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. We'll be back here for another one. Thanks for watching the NuWu Sessions.
Thanks, guys.
Let's get it. Hell yeah. You ready for a dab, brother?
All right, fine. Let's go.
Can you guys believe people watch our podcast? This is ridiculous, dude. We're just making stuff up and call. Oh, is this on? Hey, what's up? NuWu Sessions. Hit the subscribe button today and the bell. All the stuff. Watch it, like it, subscribe. Let's go.